once I stopped performing last year, there was this unbelievable like drop in like even caring about that because I didn't feel like the man on a regular basis. Like, if you make a lot of money, you feel like the man. You work hard all week and you come home Friday night, you feel like the man. As a stand-up comedian, where you become the man is working the road, killing your weekends, making some money. And when I wasn't doing that, bro, it affected my mental health on a way that I didn't even expect. I just actually felt like I had chosen the wrong job. Like, oh, what a dumb job. I'm not essential. I saw lots of my friends being essential. I was like, I'm a fucking comic. I'm an idiot. And in reality, I'm like, I love my job and I am the man. And COVID's just a bitch.
I'll just say welcome everyone to episode number 15 of the Johnny Rogers Show. My guest today is the one and only Mike Rita, just getting his stuff together in his office there. We're going to be talking about lockdown part 2. I didn't think this was ever going to be a thing. You remember when we were supposed to just flatten the curve for a couple weeks?
Oh, man. They had no idea what they were talking about either, though. That's the problem. They acted like they did.
Yeah.
So we believe them instead of just coming out and being like, buddy, we don't fucking know what
it was the confidence. Yeah. They should have been more like fragile.
Yes. They should have been more realistic with what the goal was here because we thought it was going to be 2 weeks. It's been 2 years, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah. Because everyone always thinks like, oh, the government have to put on like a brave face because if the government's freaking out, then everyone will freak out. And I'm like, nah, I don't think that's the case. I think if the government was freaking out, there'd still be a few really strong people who were like, well, I'll stand up and do something.
Yeah, they have white knight syndrome. They believe they're the be all end all. They save everything. They create all. It's fuck these people, man.
Yeah, it is a little weird that I guess it would happen to anyone, right? Like even historically, anyone who gets into a position of power and that becomes their world. Like Obama talked about that, about how he didn't realize it until he was in it, like how influential everyone around you is and how much they normalize shit that we see as being like, whoa, that's crazy that you would just, choose to do that. Whatever the decision may be that ends up affecting millions of people, but to them, they're just like, that's the job. Like,
I got to do it. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, they just accept it.
That's insane, though. All right.
Oh, the fireplace going too.
Did you see it for a second?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Man, that's so funny, man.
So Christmassy.
Yeah, man. The Office is real. But, okay. So you said this was episode 15. Who's been your other guest? You have other comedy people that I know?
Yeah, I had Alex Wood on. I just had Cliff Knight on. I was talking to Anto. I've been trying to mix it up too. I have like some of my friends who are like YouTubers. Like people like listening to like Jared Bronstein and Lindsay Ivan too. Those were like big podcasts.
What are they? They're podcasters and shit like that.
Yeah, most people have been just like either entertainers or creatives in some form or capacity. But like I wanted to start this show because I love the idea of just like getting someone to boil down something that's been on their mind into just one word and then trying to, form an hour of conversation based off of that one thing. Like just continuously branching out from that one word to me is interesting.
Okay, so like we chose lockdown part 2 pretty much. And I didn't expect us to be here. I didn't expect us to be going through this anymore. I didn't expect us my livelihood is in fucking shambles again. Like I just had like 2 months worth of gigs cancel. And the thing is, like, you know me, Johnny, I'm going to bring it back to the underground world again. I'm going to bring it back to the private shows, secret ticket sales, minimal announcements that something is happening. And it's the way that it's got to be. Like, unless, man, like I don't know, man. I don't know what the government's going to do. I doubt that they're going to offer a secondary serve if shit starts locking down again.
Yeah, like is that because before they made such a big deal of like, oh, we were scammed out of like X amount of money, and then these people are gonna face fines, and they made a big deal of it. So it's like, are they gonna do that to themselves again, or are they gonna just say, figure it out? You figured it out the first time, which would be pretty brutal to like in place such harsh lockdowns and then be like, you're on your own there.
Yeah,
But
what is on your own though? Like, how can they
yeah, that's what I
like
mean. Like I just
like
abandoned
millions
people
of
like that.
yeah, they're gonna abandon hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah.
And what are we all gonna rush towards our local fucking McDonald's in hopes that we can sweep their floors for $15 an hour? Like, what do they expect
Well,
us to do?
here's the thing, man, is that this is having such huge, like, just it's such the butterfly effect, right? Like their top-down decision to just, close everything because of a couple cases going up. You know what I mean? Like at this point, I feel like we should be able to treat it if it's coming in, even if it's this Omicron thing. We've been through this. We should at least know how to slow it down. I'm not on the front line, so what do I know? But
I mean, I honestly only care about
you would
the
think
numbers,
we'd be
bro.
more prepared for this by now.
No, they're not. They're not. They don't. They don't know what to do because they're trying to walk that fine line of public safety, and also they want the public to still like them.
Yeah.
But fuck that shit, man. Either you let the public hate you and you keep us safe, or all of us hate you and you just keep everything open anyway. Like, who gives a shit at this point, man? Like, okay, this is what I was gonna say too. When it comes to the secondary lockdown, I was scared of people dying the first time. What are we scared about? Like the ICU numbers are low and the death count is staying low too. Like it's just like a flu at this point. Like people are getting it,
yeah,
but they're
you
just staying the
can't
fuck home.
you can't count like infection rate and be like, oh, this many people more got infected, so now we need to like raise the alarms. It's like, no, like how many people died? That's what I
Yeah, are
want to
people
know.
dying still or
Are
not?
people dying? Like that's what we're
They're
worried
not,
about.
though.
They're not. Like
They're
it's
not, man.
lots of people are getting infected. Sure. Are they getting treated and then they're fine? Okay, then why is there such a hysteria? Like if people get sick with the flu, people get bronchitis, people get like shit all the time. What you want to know is what's the fatality rate? Like what that's when you should be scared. That's why we were scared the first time, because people were just dying because they didn't know how to treat it.
Nah, that first wave.
But they're holding that same fear though. They're holding that same fear. Like it's crazy.
It actually wakes up the conspiracy theorist in you. It really does.
It does. And you try to be like, ugh.
Yeah, I know. You try to like kind of calm yourself down and you're like,
relax.
Chill out, buddy. Come on, relax. Take it easy. These are just idiot people too in high jobs that just never.
Yeah. They're just stressed. They need something to hold on to.
Yeah, their jobs, they thought in their heads was going to be fiscal things, money-related issues. These aren't public health people. And now you get to see how much we actually rely on smart scientists and really actual smart people to help us out of this.
Because we didn't really need them. Before this pandemic, what was science doing? They'd come out with some cool, hey, we took a picture of a black hole, and everyone's like, it's great. All right. And everyone went back to what they were doing, Yeah. Nobody really cared about science. Everyone hated Big Pharma. Remember when everyone hated Big Pharma?
No, you got to hate Big Pharma for what they do for the bottom. Like, they're still about the bottom line. Like, they're like, buddy, third booster,
that's a miraculous turnaround for a vaccine, though. Within a year, that's pretty crazy. I mean, you got to give it up. Well, you got to give credit where credit is due. Of course, they're going to try to make money like any company would, but goddamn, that's quick turnover. They took like 20 years of research or something and turned it into a vaccine within a year.
So the mRNA one that's why they use that stupid mRNA one or whatever the fuck, because it's adaptable to different things and whatever the fuck. Like I listen, listen. I don't know exactly what I'm saying. But
We're two stoners. Yeah, just to be clear for the listener, this is two stoners. I just hit a bong before this podcast.
I'm smoking as we record. I'm literally getting high as we record. So it's
none of this is real.
This is all of us just fucking getting high and being like, yeah, fuck this shit. Honestly, this is just us airing out what they refer to as COVID fatigue.
I just want them to know what they're listening to. I don't want someone to come up to me and be like, man, I get all my news from you. I'd be like, don't do that.
No, what do you like? Oh man, why would you do that?
Don't do that. Read a newspaper or something. Oh, I don't know. Bloomberg, I heard is good.
Dude, we know a comic in the city where I guarantee like a good chunk of his following gets the news from him. I'm talking about like, you know, like old BB Banky, you know, and everybody knows, you know, and I swear, because you read his comment section, you're like, you guys got to get it together, man. I remember when they were the ones that we referred to as woke, and now it's gone the full other way around, that if you just try to critically think about anything, now you're either dumb woke or smart woke. But it's like, buddy, listen, scrutinizing thought isn't about being woke. It's just about scrutinizing your own shit. Both sides have an issue with that. Like the pro-vaccine side and the anti-vaccine side. They both have an issue with scrutinizing thought. They just want to live in these weird little comfort zones where it's like, it's okay to admit that the vaccine is... Yeah, bro. They
need to win the argument.
Oh, come on, man. There's middle ground here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it needs to be a journey. You need to be doing this together. Like, having that conversation, you know, but nobody wants to.
They're not gonna do it. No, I was gonna say they're not gonna do that.
Nobody wants to do that because, like, then so say you have two people who are complete polar opposites decide to sit down and have a conversation with each other, that both sides get nailed because they're like, oh, what a shill. He like hung out with that libtard and then the liberal person, it gets like canceled because they hung out with a right winger, and it's like there's no winning.
You can never, if the minute you cement yourself, what's it saying? The minute you cement yourself in a thought is now the minute that you're unable to move from that thought or whatever the fuck. Meaning, like, if you actually believe in something so much, I can't remember. My high school teacher would say it. It's like a way of describing to make sure you always stay open-minded. That you never fully like commit to something unless it's like something basic, like, yeah, the sky is blue. That's obviously. But like something like the vaccine, you don't have to fully commit. Nobody knows anything. Even the guys who are like the experts every day are like, you know what? After some pretty rigorous testing, we just realized that these plexiglass fucking things that we've been putting up might be worse for us. And at first, the idea seems right. You're like, yeah, blocking something. Sure, that makes sense. But now it stops airflow in these grocery stores. And they're seeing that it's worse. It's worse for us to have so much plexiglass up everywhere.
Man, they've been doing that with everything, though. Like every 6 months, eggs are good for you, and then they're bad for you, and then too much water is bad for you, and then it's good for you, and then.
That's because, honestly, man, and this is the craziest thing, is that life truly is experienced on the individual level. Mm-hmm. As much as we believe that we're all this one, that we're working together, it's just a bunch of individuals every day going at their business and getting to their goals. And then thank God not everything collapses somehow. It's a fucking miracle that society doesn't collapse. You know what I mean?
I think about that every time I'm on the highway. Every time I'm driving on the highway, I think this is a goddamn miracle that we're all doing this simultaneously at over 100 kilometers an hour, and nobody's banging into each other.
That's right. I think about like how the closest land animal isn't even close. Like no way could thousands of cheetahs run the way that we move in cars. Like there's just no way, man.
It's so weird. Yeah,
it's a school of fish, man. You ever think of like when you see a school of fish move together and they're not even touching each other because they're so in tune with the next fish next to each other? That's how I picture the highway when we're going through like the DVP. And everybody's doing 80 on the DVP, and it's like left, right, up, down, under the bridge, through, around. Like that's what it must look like from like if you didn't know what a car was and you were looking onto Earth. It looks like schools of fish moving amongst themselves.
What kind of looks at that too, if you're flying and you look down and you can see kind of a roadway, you just see these little dots all
Perfectly,
gliding at the
yeah.
same. Yeah, you're like, oh, it's so weird.
Oh, and you know what the crazier thing is? Have you ever seen what like you remember like the Magic School Bus or something when they show information moving through a computer and it's like singular data pieces being entered like individually but at a rapid pace? That's what we
Yeah.
are on Earth on an organic level. It's
Yeah.
just small pieces of organic matter carrying data to the next thing to continue on the process of growth and living.
True. And that data is like at the simplest form, just DNA, right? Like whatever
DNA, bro,
the
survival.
coding is, the coding in that DNA. My buddy had this crazy theory that like our he like explained it in a way that was like our galaxy or Earth, let's say, is very similar to like a computer. So say like take like your desktop computer, for example,
Yeah.
there's all of this stuff in it that's necessary to make your computer work the way it does. There's a microchip somewhere in there that needs to fire off so that you can like click and drag a file on your computer. Simple shit like that. But like the microchip itself in there isn't necessarily like, oh, it's aware of what it's doing, but it's not necessarily aware of like the bigger picture of like what
Oh
it's
yeah, it has
connected
no
to.
idea. Nah,
No.
man,
So it's
it's
like
just
that's
a
what
small
Earth
cog.
is. We're just like part of this other interconnected thing that's connected to a thing that's
Ugh,
even bigger that we have no idea what the fuck it's doing or why. Like why is the universe expanding and what is it expanding to? It just keeps going.
nothing. Yeah, it's the craziest thing, man, and it lends itself to the idea of a multiverse and that we are never ending. Man, when you think about just the size of our visual universe, what we can see, it almost like when I was a teenager, it almost crippled me into my bed. Like when I realized how small we actually were and how insignificant we were, I realized like, holy shit, is life even worth living? Like we're nothing. What the fuck are we? We're not. It's very depressing at first, and then it's like who cares? Whatever we are, we are. You know, like I'm just gonna eat cake and drink Coca Cola and smoke weed, and you know, like my existence matters minimally. Like you know, and I swear to God, my perspective only changed when I had kids or a kid. When
Mhm.
I had my daughter, I was like, oh fuck, now I matter to this fuckhead because now I gotta like raise her and be there for her or she'll like die and that's no fun because life is
It's no
fun and
fun.
it's nice to experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, life is nice, man. Like I don't even like human life. I just love life, like animals, plants, ocean, space. But like the human experience, we fucked it up. Like greed ultimately fucked up the human experience. At this point in our existence, we should be living in some sort of utopia. We know how to make enough food, we know how to make enough shelter, we understand mental health, and we know how to work each day
Hmm.
so that we can get that. You know, that's like a people call that a communist utopia or some shit, but it's not. We're
Yeah.
smart enough to do it. We're just not smart enough to fund it because rich people like to stay rich and they like to create a wealth gap. Makes them feel good each day, every single day.
I
But
get that. But I also get like I think now here's my argument for why now is the best time ever because I feel like now we have more time and freedom to have these kind of conversations, these thought provoking conversations that lead to a point where if you want that utopia, you have to realize that life is essentially like what you created in your own mind, like how you interpret things that you experience in life is up to you. And if you interpret all of it as this every moment is like the best moment ever. Like the same way when you are about to accomplish one of your goals that you've wanted to accomplish for so long, that amazing feeling of doing that, if you apply that exact same feeling to every other experience, just like force yourself to feel it the same way that you could imagine what 2 for 1 or pizza tastes like right now. If you were to sit there
yeah,
and think, if you were to sit there and think about it, you could imagine what it tastes like. It's the same thing. Like you just imagine that great feeling with everything that you're like doing in your life. And you can kind of create that utopia there as a starting point. And then the rich stuff, I think, is always like a mental block in a way with wealth, because if you always demonize like wealthy people, there are like super wealthy people who are like fucking evil as shit, don't get me wrong, but if you demonize it too much, then when you stop yourself from becoming more wealthy, because you think that if you become more wealthy you'll be corrupted, instead of like, I need more money because I want more time. More time
Yeah.
means more freedom to do whatever I want to do. Or like,
I don't think I'll ever become wealthy. I only think I can become rich. I can become well off. I don't think I'll ever reach wealth status where like I'll be generationally wealthy for my family. I always think about that. Could I become that? But that takes a lot of work, man. People just want to become fucking CEOs until they realize how much work these dudes actually put in, maybe in the first 20, 30 years before they became these old rich fucks.
oh, for sure.
Like,
they sacrificed like all their time with friends and family for that.
That's it, man. Sat around at their desk all day brainstorming, thinking about the next big thing until they were the next big thing. And I don't want to become wealthy. I think about that all the time. It would be a nightmare for me to have that struggle every day of retaining and working hard like that.
It's moving your money around.
Yeah, I don't like to work hard. I like to live. I like to work and live comfortably. Like, I have too much anxiety as a person, so if I'm living a high stress life, it's fucked. I recently started a comedy festival, and it's been eating up all my time because I want to get ahead before I can take my foot off the pedal. The same thing I did with stand-up comedy. I like to get ahead before I relax. And then once you're ahead a little bit, you can just relax for a bit, coast, look back at where you've come from. And then once you have you regain your focus again, and you know, everything's ready to rock, you put your foot down on the pedal again. Like, COVID sucks. You can't book anything right now. You can't even retain a theater. Like, if you call a little theater, they're hard to retain.
They'll like end up canceling on you or whatever because they've been pushed with other bylaw restrictions or something.
And they have a million rescheduled dates coming up too because of everything that's going on. January, if you call a venue, they're not going to book shit, bro. Everybody can feel it. They're going to shut us down after Christmas.
This better not become like a yearly fucking thing.
Shut down for Christmas, boys. I don't know.
Just a what? Flatten the curve?
It makes me want global warming to be real and to wreck us quick. Like, you know, maybe me and my kid can enjoy, like, you know.
Hey, the heat will kill the virus, so that's not a bad thing.
That's what I'm saying. Let's go.
Everybody outside with your aerosol cans right now.
They don't make those no more. They only make what do you call that? The eco-friendly aerosols.
Oh,
I seen it the other day.
You're spraying it, you're just like healing the ozone. You're like, oh shit.
Oh, fucking crap.
I'm making it
colder.
colder.
Like my grass is getting greener, my weed is growing better. I'm like, you know, honestly, man, society is in this breaking point of stress where a lot of people's lives have gone unchanged and a lot of people's lives are fucked. They're teetering again. And nobody wants to go back to that. Nobody goes back. Nobody wants to go back to jail. Nobody wants to go back to being poor. Nobody wants to go back to where they once were, their low points. And for a lot of artists, especially, buddy, COVID was my low point, bro. Not performing, putting on weight, losing confidence, bro, losing the want to like even just fuck and mate and like just be like that dude. When you're performing and killing it, you feel like the dude and you bring that shit home and you lay it on the wife, bro. But once I stopped performing last year, there was this unbelievable like drop in like even caring about that because I didn't feel like the man on a regular basis. Like, you know, if you make a lot of money, you feel like the man. You work hard all week and you come home Friday night, you feel like the man. as a stand-up comedian, where you become the man is working the road, killing your weekends, making some money. And when I wasn't doing that, bro, it affected my mental health on a way that I didn't even expect. I just actually felt like I had chosen the wrong job. Like, oh, what a dumb job. I'm not essential. I saw lots of my friends being essential. I was like, I'm a fucking comic. I'm an idiot. And in reality, I'm like, I love my job and I am the man. And COVID's just a bitch.
Yeah, you felt like kind of robbed of your identity a little bit, right? Because you're
Robbed
not
of
getting
my identity. You must have felt it too as a performer. Like, who the fuck are we, bro? We're just some fucking floaters now.
dude. Like I told you, it's all like mindset to me. Like I have to. I just got so tired of spinning in negative thoughts. Because what would happen every time is like, and I do enough mushrooms to like be able to work this out, is a negative thought would enter. I would spin on that, and then it would web into all these other different negative thoughts that would create fake conversations in my head of like hypothetical situations that were just crazy, make me feel even worse about myself. And I was like, no, I'm just like tired of going down that circle. So then anytime,
bro, and nobody is here saying those things to us. It's us sabotaging our own confidence, sabotaging our own success, not even giving ourselves the chance to succeed because we've already put up the walls. That's fucking crazy.
Well, it's because we have like blinders on. We get so used to one way of doing things. And then when that's changed, we have a problem like embracing the change. We get like frustrated that things aren't the way that they were. And like, it's the world's problem. And that, you know, but all I did, dude, was like, tell myself you're not just a stand-up comedian, because I've been doing this YouTube thing forever. Like I was like, you're also like a YouTuber, so that just means I'm an entertainer, so I can entertain people in any way that I can, then I'm going to do that. For me, I was like, I've always wanted to try music. If the world is ending right now, let me try making some songs. I had all the time in the world to just sit at home and learn how to like write music and learn how to like make a song or whatever. And then through trial and error, obviously, like did a bunch of music. And then I ended up making like, I think I might have like an hour or something on SoundCloud that people can just go listen to now. Cause I was like, I wasn't able to do stand-up. So I just took that creative energy and put it into that instead.
I listened to your album when it came out too. You were promoting it hard, and it was actually surprisingly very good, bro. Like it wasn't bad. Where you're
the
like,
first time was like rough. You're like, this is a little underground. You can tell this is a little like I don't really know how to vocal mix exactly.
You're also no one's mastering you. That's your only issue. No one's mastering you. You need someone to do that. Like that's a real job. It makes
yeah.
Like,
you understand like, when you do it that you're like, oh, this is a whole like someone needs to do this that went to school for this.
This is why they get paid to do this shit. Yeah.
You're like, I get it.
It doesn't actually even sound that bad. You should play a clip of yourself right now for whoever's listening in like a final edit of this podcast, because it's deserving. You're better than dudes that came from my neighborhood who put in years rapping in backyards and shit. But once they finally got in the studio, they didn't understand that they needed to listen to themselves simultaneously while rapping. They were just coming off like it's like they got caught in this tempo. It's like they got caught in this like yo when up on it, and they couldn't get out of that. Where it's like, man, no one's gonna listen to that for 10 songs. You have to make music. You can't just come out and rap gangster ass shit. And
you need a chorus. You need something.
How many instruments you play? You play instruments?
Nah, I play like a little bit of guitar, but not like I wouldn't call myself like an expert by any means.
What's a little bit of guitar? Like you played when you were a kid?
Yeah, I played with I like learned when I was like 15. So I could, if I sat down with a song, it would take me a little bit to pick it up, but I'm not like, I couldn't just sit there and jam out. You know what I mean? But I'm learning. I like learning guitar. I wouldn't call myself an expert, but yeah. But I just I use an instrument of confidence, dude. That's what I realized is like and my buddy Patrick told me this too. He was like, half of hip hop is just like delivering with like confidence in your voice. Like you believe the shit that you're saying.
You know, I learned something the other day that's going to stick with me forever, and I'm going to pass it on to anybody listening and to you, is that confidence is a choice. You make the choice to be confident in anything in life, or you choose to come off like you're not confident. So someone gives you a little bit of leeway. Someone who comes off confident, nobody's going to give you leeway. They're going to expect you to be good. And you're expecting yourself to be good. And that's a choice. That's a choice that you make to fail in confidence or to do well in confidence. And some people can't do it, man. The idea that confidence is a choice is something that we should be taught as kids. And not just taught, but taught to understand. So that way we have more confident people, that they understand the reason that they feel subconscious about something is from choice. The reason that they're scared of failure. Oh, yeah, bro.
Yeah. You don't build confidence. You choose confidence.
You choose confidence.
You tell yourself, to be confident. I'm going to be strong about this right now. Like it's just right, mind over matter through everything.
Bro, people think that the difference between a person who's done comedy the first time and somebody who's done it 1,000 times is confidence. It's not. It's experience. I was just as confident the first time I did comedy as I am today. I just know now how to do good every time. I still have the confidence to go on stage, to talk into the microphone. The same confidence that made me start is the same confidence that keeps me going. But people believe that it's this like, but you're so much more confident up there now. It's like, bro, barely. The scale on confidence went from like 8 out of 10 to 8.5 out of 10. But my experience level has gone from 0 to thousands of hours on stage, and that's the difference, man. Like the kid, somebody who makes it to the NFL or the NBA, they believed in themselves when they were little already. You see it in their documentaries. You see it in like those videos of like NHLers playing as kids. They fucking skate around everybody in their age group because they just believed that they could, you know.
Dude, or like WWE stars. Like there's like old videos of like John Cena like wrestling in his backyard, and he like made his own belt and stuff. You're like, what the fuck?
Dude,
like,
he made a belt because in his head he's
it's
like
manifestation. He's like, I'm there. When he was like 7, he was mentally already there. And then he just never stopped chasing that rabbit, essentially.
You know, I'm gonna tell you something, man. And I've never really talked about this. I did that with my own life. When I was a kid, I spent no more. There's no show other than maybe The Simpsons that I watched more than Just for Laughs stand-up. I would watch the Comedy Network, Just for Laughs stand-up, old ones. I would do the classic 90s, the 80s ones. So everything. I would watch Comedy at Club 54. I would watch Comedy Now, Comedy Inc. Every fucking bit of stand-up I could absorb as a kid, Canadian stand-up especially, I did. Because I thought it was so fucking funny. And I remember watching Just for Laughs, and I remember thinking, and watching Todd Barry. Do you know who Todd Barry is?
Yeah.
Like some weird I don't know, whatever.
Dude, I watched all those exact same things. I had them PVR'd like on the TV. Yeah.
And I would watch Just for Laughs and be like, if these guys can do it, like, how did they do it? How did they get there? I want to get there. I want to do this. This seems so cool. And every time I've ever met Todd in real life, I always tell him, like, Todd, man, you know, I always tell you this every time, but for real, your Just for Laughs inspired me to make it to Just for Laughs or whatever the fuck. And when we were at JFL, we did shows together, and it was so cool. It was surreal. It was surreal to be there and see him and remember his jokes from when I was like 7 or 8 years old. And I would like laugh.
And he was still doing them. No,
yeah, he did. He did one. I'm not even joking, man. But comedy like that. Yeah. Even if you think a joke has been done 1,000,000 times, there's still millions and billions of people who haven't heard the joke.
Yeah. Of course. Like, that's the beautiful almost thing about the first lockdown that I was telling a bunch of comics. They were, a couple of people I heard were like nervous about like, oh, I don't want to be that guy that comes back and I didn't write any new stuff and now I'm doing my bits that I was doing before. And I'm like, who are you nervous for? Like what other comics will say? Does the crowd know the bits? Then like, this is all
do
new
your
to
best
them.
Stuff.
Do the best stuff. These crowds are coming back to shows for the first time. Make them the best shows ever. Like,
bro, for the first month,
so
I didn't
memorable.
do any
like,
new stuff. I didn't do
just
nothing
killers.
new. I just killed.
You
For
should
the
have just
first
done
month
closer
when I
after
came
closer
back.
after closer.
Bro, there was a couple shows where I did because those were the jokes that I knew the best. And I didn't want to, it was more important for me to build my confidence, remember how to talk into a microphone, remember how to do everything.
Yeah.
And make sure, like, dust myself off, put some grease back on the fucking, put some grease back on the rubber and let's get her going. Get those engines going, man. And that's what I did, man. I just did my best bits, things that I knew off my heart. Sometimes I would stumble. Sometimes my confidence wasn't there. And then now it's like I'm back. I'm gonna release a new album. I got actually 2 albums coming out in 2022. I'm gonna be releasing all kinds of shit and comedy festivals, bro. COVID gave me time to realize that I need to have more pillars of financial safety holding me up. I don't just have to rely on live shows and my albums. Why don't I produce more? I am the ultimate booker. I am a host, a headliner, and I can book every comic in the country because I've worked with every comic in the country. I know them personally, and unless they're superstars like fucking K. Trevor Wilson or like Sean Majunder or something, then I should be able to like book them myself. I realized.
Yeah, K-Tribe told me. K-Tribe told me. I reached out to K-Tribe and he said, "You're gonna have to reach out to my management because I don't even know what my schedule is." And I was like, "You want me to email Barry?"
Yeah, like.
So it's like, yeah,
and if it's really big, Barry can't do, like, Barry won't even.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm like, I don't expect to hear a response. I get it. Like, there's probably way bigger things for him to be doing right now. I'm sure CBC
it's
wants it
impossible
for
to
something.
book Trevor.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He's like, I'm not even kidding. He's like 10 grand, 5 grand.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, it's crazy.
Our old dude, friend, like, K-Trip.
Yeah, God no. He gave me a great tag once.
Yeah, he was great once. Man. Why, he died? Nah.
Yeah,
so
he's famous now.
He's famous. He's out of our friend circle.
He ascended into a.
But
he's hanging out with Russell Peters on it.
Yeah, he's in that bracket of fame.
Yeah,
now we're like, fuck.
He's hanging out with Angela Slaroukos.
Nah, Angelo hangs out with them. So he's not in the circle. He's just like, he just lives there.
He just has like a permanent spot.
Yeah. It's hard to move him. That's right. I burned Angelo. Angelo, I came for you, you Greek fuck. Viva Portugal. But
Viva Portugal, he says.
I don't know why I'm making these ethnic beefs over a podcast.
Yeah. That's okay. That's few listeners. It's all right. We're good. That's the beauty of this podcast. But man, you have a YouTube channel. You should start get that thing monetized, because that right there is going to be another whole pillar of,
I don't know what I want to do yet. You know that? I've had people work with me. I've had teams, bro, of people try to make videos.
What do you want to do?
I just don't know what I want to do. I don't know. Man, I had Omni TV try to get me to write a TV show for them. But like what they wanted was kind of tacky. Like, somebody picked it up though. Some Filipino writers picked it up. It's good for them. But it's like, I don't know what I want, man. I hate TV, bro. If I can't watch TV for nothing, it sucks.
It's really bad.
And because I hate it watching it, it makes me feel like I'm gonna hate writing it, because it seems like there's so many great writers. Why haven't they broken through? Like, what's the last great TV show you think?
Big Bang Theory, obviously.
I'm gonna fight you. You like that show? I'm gonna fight you, bro. So I know. I was like, this podcast is over, buddy. I'm leaving. Buddy.
No.
I mean, people love that show. We can't talk shit. Like, I wish we made the money.
Dude, people were brainwashed into loving that show. Have you ever watched it without the laugh track? It is not good.
Yeah, like, exactly. The laugh track is so rampant and high volume. It's Teddy, it's fun.
There's like these weird pauses where they like plan for the laughs to like pop in, right? So it's like it's the same way when you're at like a live show and they flash the applause sign. It's like a cue for the listeners at home to also be laughing without needing to see that sign. When you hear other people
Yeah,
laughing, you just laugh out of like not wanting to be like not part of understanding, you know? Fucking
that's hilarious.
one of the dweebs on that show might say something like super nerdy, and then they all laugh, and you're like, haha, I totally got that joke about the periodical table of whatever. Like you laugh because it's like a social, like you don't want to be shamed of not knowing.
Man, isn't that funny?
Brainwash.
I mean, that happens in shows all the time. Like you can
All the
feel it.
time.
You're like, these fucks didn't get that, like, oh,
They
man.
figured it out. They didn't hire writers, they hired psychologists.
I hate that show. What's your most hated show? This is a more relatable topic for listeners than what we like. What's your most
Yeah.
hated TV show or hated thing that you've ever watched? You're like, this is just fucking fuck you.
Uh, um, that's a really good question.
There's so many things that I hate. Big Bang Theory, How I Met Your Mother, anything with a laugh track. I hate everything. Laugh tracks are
laugh track.
No, yeah. Only Seinfeld got away with it because Seinfeld's genuinely funny.
Oh,
You're like, this is funny, like Seinfeld has a laugh track and you forget. It's so good that you forget that there's a laugh track. You're like
I hate the spin-off series of these like Marvel and DC movies. Just let them be movies. I don't need like a 9-season thing on, one character.
Oh man, what's the one
where it's like low budget?
Oh yeah, garbage.
Yeah, it's the CW. Those people are just out of control. They're out of control.
I hate all those channels, man. Those low budget channels, man. Fuck CW.
TLC's my favorite. Remember when TLC was the learning channel, and now there's shows like My 600-Pound Life.
I'm still learning. You know what I learned about those shows? That I'm not such a bad person.
Yeah. That's
what I learned. It's like, oh, look at that. That's 600 pounds. I got like 400 pounds to go, you fucks. Get it together, man. Jeez, I thought hitting 200 was too much. Buddy, COVID fucks me up, man, because I've like, at the beginning of COVID, I got really fat. Then in the summer, I lost it all again because I felt like, I got to do it. Now winter's back and they're going to lock us down. And I'm going to get tubs again. I'm going to get huge, bro. I was fucking huge on roast battles when they asked us to record that. It was like mid-COVID. I was all fucked up, man.
Jeez, but hey, you got roast battles, dude. That's good. It's still cool.
Yeah, but I looked fat.
Hey, whatever.
That's like
you think somebody wanting to sign you is gonna be like, everything was funny, but you looked a little fat.
You looked a little pudgy there, Rita, and I've seen you live. You're not that pudgy.
I don't know.
What was going on?
I think that's gonna hold back the funny.
Yeah, this ain't John Panetta anymore, buddy. You need to be fit.
We need vegan comics.
Okay, who's your favorite vegan comic? Can you think of one? Hey, you said mushrooms earlier. Are you still doing mushrooms or what?
Oh, it's been a while.
Look, I just picked up a huge bag. Check this out, like all these mushrooms, man. I used to microdose daily. You just crush up a half a gram and then go for a little daytime trip, and then eventually it stops becoming a trip, and it just becomes like a vitamin. And it's
what part do you enjoy the most about microdosing?
Honestly, man, I need it for focus. Most days I can't focus on anything, but if I microdose, I can like knife edge focus on an idea, and I can execute it a little bit better. Whereas, but it takes 2 hours to get there. I have to elaborate on that. It takes 2 hours to get there because for the first hour and a half, there is a little bit of anxiety. There's a little bit of like, fuck, did I eat too much? Am I going to get high now? And then once all that disappears and it's gone and it's just back to normal, I have a meal, I have something to eat, and then like something to drink. You try to like not be a degenerate and just sit around looking for a high. Just try to live your life. It becomes like a pretty trippy thing because it's like, holy shit, it's in the background now. And now I'm living my life through this minor filter of a knife edge focus. It's trippy. I don't have any focus. I legit, bro, am an ADHD artist. Like I'm one of these people, even on stage, it's one of the things that makes me unique on stage is that like midway through a joke, I'll go into a tangent about something else and then I'll forget what the joke was and I'll go back to something. It's fucked. Like I just jump around during my set. And cutting my album back in the day was fucked.
A lot of people think it's intentional.
Yeah, they think it's part of the show. They're like, he's a wild man up there. You're like, no, bro, I actually have bad focus. Yeah, dude, I love how you're just like at any moment, bro. You're like, thank you.
I love how like you're telling a story, bro, and then you like did that whole improv off the guy with the gummy candies and then brought it right back to your story. You're like, no, I was just genuinely distracted.
Yeah, didn't you see how I asked what the hell I was talking about? No, didn't you just want to bring the crowd in? You're like, no, man, I genuinely forgot.
I saw it and dropped everything.
Man, people are fucked. Oh. I'm gonna be touring again. I haven't toured in almost 4 years because I had my kid. So it's been a lot of like local shows, or you just dip to a town for like a weekend, and then you come back. But I haven't stayed on the road for longer than like an actual 7-day stint in a long time. I'm gonna be hitting the road again, and that'll be nice too. Like 2022, I have to like, man, I just want to do something called Fuck COVID, the Fuck COVID comedy tour, and just do something like that. But the problem is the type of audience that's gonna come out to watch.
Yeah, it's gonna be all anti-vaxxers. Like,
yeah, man, fuck.
Hey,
it's
man,
like, why can't they just get normal folks?
Their money's the same, dude.
Fuck COVID comedy tour coming to a town near you. There will be like, great audiences too. Like if you just go up and be like, Trudeau's gay, and they'll be
both sides would be like, yeah.
Yeah, just explode. Yeah.
I love that. Trudeau's gay.
Yeah, like you're unsure. You're just like,
and they're all
you guys want to hear. Yeah, because they're just nutbags, man. These people have evolved throughout the years to attach themselves to different issues. Before they were anti-vax, they were anti-immigrant. Before they were anti-immigrant, they were anti-Jew or something. But
there were anti-vax people. Remember, I want to hear their stance. Are they still anti-vax? Because there was people that were anti. Like, what was the other vaccine that they were anti?
Man, it was
polio.
The fucking. It was, remember the movie Vaxxed or whatever the fuck it was?
Yeah. They're saying it gives you autism or something.
Yeah. What was the autism one? That one's gone. No one even cares about that one.
Like, was it Jenny McCarthy or somebody that was like?
Yeah, it was that fucking Buddy's ex-wife or whatever the fuck. She's a nut. That lady's a nut. Jim Carrey's ex-wife is some shit. What a nut.
I'm gonna search this. Jenny McCarthy.
What was she thinking? She was ahead of the times, that bitch.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
She was published on PBS in 2015. Oh my God, this crazy woman.
She has that crazy face too.
Look at this.
How are you doing this?
Jenny McCarthy, we're not an anti-vaccine movement. We're pro-safe vaccine.
We're pro-safe. Everybody's pro-safe vaccine. You guys aren't special. You're fucking bananas. Like, who's anti? Wow. That's how ahead of the time she was.
Yeah, I want to know. I was trying to see if there was any. No, there's not anything really new. I was trying to see if she was tweeting anything like, "Oh, I'm pro like this vaccine, though."
You guys are all stupid. Wake up! This vaccine's the good one. Morons, don't take it.
Yeah.
This one cures autism. You're like, shut up, Jenny. Yeah, fucking contrarian bitch. Contrarian. But no, man, that lady, like people who are like, we're pro-safe vaccine. It's like, man, everybody is pro-safe vaccine. What about those people, remember, like the Save the Children people? Like, we got to save our children. Listen, everybody wants to save the children. I've never met someone who's like, kill the children. Kill the children.
Why are we killing more of them?
Yeah, that's right. There is no opposite to that. You're not, there is nobody on the other side of your, like, like,
they're creating like a fake offense. It's like, who do you think is against you?
Who's against you?
What battle are you fighting? Like, what?
Oh man.
What
Oh man. Everyone's against
1500 AD
pedophiles.
mentality. Yeah, 100%.
Like,
Nobody's
save our kids from the pedophiles. Who's over
that's
here
a,
like, no, man, who cares? Let the kids get, like, let the pedophile, like, no,
how are the kids gonna
nobody.
get stronger if they don't learn how to fight off the pedophile?
No, I'm kidding, bro. No I'm kidding. Let the pedophile, it's stupid. It's stupid. It's
I
like
remember that was like, dude, that part of raising a kid to me is terrifying. The part of
oh yeah, it's fun. Trust.
explaining to them that there is possibly, potentially, when at some point could be a stranger that just wants to take them. And this is how you fight them off. I was like, no fucking
Bro, you
way.
teach them right away. My kid is 4.
That's
You
crazy.
tell her all, and you can remind them all the time. If some stranger tries to grab you,
What do
you
you
yell
do?
right
Like
away.
you're
Bro,
asking them to like get it.
Stranger's
Oh my
grabbing me.
God.
A stranger's got me. Like you draw attention to yourself right away. I don't know this person. They're touching me. I don't know who they are. Like you never stay quiet. You always draw attention.
Dude,
You
that's
run
terrifying.
away. Yeah, and you have to teach them because if you don't, you put them in danger. You're gonna raise one of these kids that you see on these Netflix specials that they got touched for years and they didn't know because their parents never told them the word penis. And you're
And
like,
the guy told them that he was sent from God, and that was like their mission.
God, bro, listen, my kids never even been in a church, and it's not because of anything. I grew up Catholic. I'm gonna tell you something straight up, bro. It is so scary, like those kind of places, because they used to be like that's where parents left their kids. Like I got left at church all the time, part of groups, church groups, scouts. Like scouts is how do I explain scouts in Canada? Do you know what scouts is?
Oh yeah, I remember. I was in scouts.
You know what I'm talking about?
There was beavers, and then there were scouts.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. And it's like these are all church-led groups. Like, I would never put my kid in that shit now. Like, crazy. I'll be the scout leader. Let's go. We're gonna go smoke weed in the woods. Like, get the fuck out of here. I'll
be the scout leader. So funny.
Yeah, like let's go, man. I remember the shit. We try and not do a little bit of fucking firewood. Yeah. Shit, you'll be fine, man.
I would have much rather learned that from a parent than from some random dude that had short brown shorts.
Yeah,
on.
Why did he have the same outfit as me? I'm a kid.
Yeah. Why does he have to wear the outfit?
Yeah, he shouldn't.
Little scarf.
Heard it.
That's weird. He's got the little blue and white scarf on.
He's got all the patches, and every time he talks about it, he always points at it like, I got this one. How you sewed something?
Yeah, you sewed it on.
You sewed it on, you fucking bitch. Shut up, Scouts.
I don't think you did that shit.
I feel like Scouts is a weird thing. Like I'm happy that you knew what I was talking about because sometimes I'll bring up Scouts. He's like, fucking Scouts, like, nothing, man. Don't even fucking.
You remember, like, they would have to, I remember every time we came in, they checked our fingernails. They wanted to make sure our fingernails were, like, clean. They were always, they would check your hands. Like, that was, like, a thing. At the start of everything, you had to, like, wash your hands, and then they would check to make sure you had, like, clean hands.
What was that about, though?
I don't know. Weird.
We'll Google that one day and see why the fuck Scouts is weird. We went on camping trips and I never liked it. Like one time I got eaten alive by mosquitoes and then I learned that I don't have sweet blood, but I have like a certain type of blood type that mosquitoes just love. And I'm also very fair. So it's easier for them to like penetrate my skin because it's like shit and flaky. Buddy, I get destroyed even by mosquitoes to this day. I'm one of those people I can put like off, eat, whateve the fuck. I get murked.
Hand hygiene for scouting meetings.
Yeah.
They have a whole thing for Scouts Canada.
Yeah, look at this. And it's probably going to get worse with fucking COVID.
Yeah, that shit's been going on forever. They've been wanting you to have your hands clean.
It's the diarrhea thing. I think a lot of kids used to get sick because they'd go to Scouts, you'd eat hot dogs for 2 days, get fucking murked.
It's the diarrhea. Murked with salmonella. Wow, that's so funny. Murked with salmonella.
You know what I'm saying? What
happened to Jimmy? I got murked with salmonella.
Well, you were having a little Jim, so he got the salmonella.
He had the salad bowl.
No, don't say that.
Oh, fuck.
Listen, man. Bro, have I gone long?
No, we're good, man. I still got 7 minutes or like 10 minutes or whatever. Yeah.
Because I'm a chatty fuck.
No,
And
man, I love it.
I can't tell if you're trying to wrap it up, and I just
No,
keep
I'll
interrupting
wrap
you.
it. No. You'll know.
Okay.
You'll know when I'm wrapping it.
Fuck,
No,
bro.
just keep chatting, man. I love talking.
Yeah, podcasts are like comedy. You know, I'm always like, am I running the light right now, bro?
Yeah. No, I make it apparent when we're ending it. I start plugging all the socials and whatnot. There was something I wanted to ask you about. Right. It was right on what we were talking about. Oh yeah, with getting sick. Have you been sick at all since, like, I'm talking about like washing our hands and doing all this shit to prevent COVID, but like, have you had like a cold, a sniffle, not COVID, but like a flu?
Bro, I keep getting wrecked because my kid is in kindergarten.
Oh,
so she brings home shit. Bro,
dude.
weekly.
Petri dish.
Bro, I'm like healthy 1 week, and then as soon as I'm healthy, something will flare up my nose, my throat, and there's nothing you can do to get out of it, because this is how she's going to build her immune system as a child as well. So I kind of just got to weather it with her. Like I eat semi-healthier than I've ever ate in my life. Like I eat a lot more fruits and veggies and shit, and I still
get more
can't.
Vitamins.
Bro, I need vitamin C, right? Because that's what helps your immune system fight these like common things that your kid's gonna bring home. But it makes no difference, because you eat too much vitamin C, you start getting the diarrhea again. You're like, I'm sick. You're like, oh wait, no, it's just too much.
You can't eat too much vitamin C. Like you can't. You can mega dose vitamin C and be all right.
Yeah, I can't do that. I get all fucking weird, man. Vitamin C's fucked.
Yeah.
I like that Pedialyte shit. You ever smash Pedialyte?
Dude, I've smashed Pedialyte when I've been sick before. That stuff, for anyone out there, if you can't hold down any liquids, get yourself some Pedialyte.
Yeah, I don't know how that shit works, where you dose your fucking water. It's magic.
It
makes water
magic.
more watery, bro. You're like, I'm thirsty. Drink some Pedialyte water. I'm never going to be thirsty again. This is unbelievable.
You could just feel the hydration just going back into your body. You're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, man. You're like, wow, I'm hydrated, bro.
That's what hydrated feels like. This water is performing.
Wow, my skin isn't flaking right now. This is so nice, man. I used to have, I've always had gut issues since I was a teenager. And it's because my mom, when I went to a allergy, have you ever done an allergy test?
Oh,
where they do the scratches in your arm?
Yeah,
they do all the scratches in your arm, and they do the drops to see what you're allergic to. They told me I was allergic to milk, but not enough that I was lactose intolerant, but that enough that it would like make me sick. And I never listened. And then, like, within a year, nobody does, you know? You're like, fuck,
it's too good.
I love milk. Yeah, it's so good.
Even people who are lactose intolerant, they're like, I'm willing to take the shits just because ice cream is so good.
I have a guy who takes a pill. It's a good friend of mine. He takes a pill so that he can enjoy some milk-based products. You know, people who are anti-milk, I get it. Like, yeah, we're fucking up cows, bad for the environment. But man, you ever try ice cream? Like, you ever try teas? You ever try milk? Coffee with milk, like you're like oat milk. You're like, you're fucking nuts, bro.
Yeah,
you are nuts.
No,
nobody 2%. 2% or up, like 2%.
Yeah, whole milk.
Yeah, get the fuck away from my life, bro. Coffee milk. I like that 5% coffee milk. That like it's like kind of creamy but kind of milky, and it makes coffee just perfect.
Half and half.
This is it. Yeah, that's what it's called. Half and half, bro. Yeah, half milk, half cream, or whatever.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah, that shit is fire. It makes you feel healthier. You're like, this is like light cream.
This is a light cream. Yeah, you're like, it's not 10. I'm not a fucking baby cow. I don't need that shit. I get angry because I want to be a better human, but at the same time, like, I go back to the like insignificant speck of dust on a speck of dust floating through specks of dust. I'm like, yeah.
But at the same time, dude, butterfly effect, right? Like every decision you make impacts the storylines of people around you, right? Like if you just decide to go run outside naked right now, your neighbors have a story all of a sudden where they wouldn't have before. And you know what I mean? It's insane that we have that freedom of like, you could just make a decision to do something right now. You could just stand up right now and smash that guitar if you wanted to. You're not going to do it. But it's crazy that you could. There's an alternate timeline where you just did that, or where you just were like, you know what, man, I'm tired. I'm gonna end here, and you just ended the podcast.
The alternate timelines. I used to get lost in like, which timeline am I in? Like, how normal am I? Am I crazy? Am I like the angry timeline? Right? I have a lot of issues with my anger. Like, it used to come out more when I was younger because I didn't know how to control it at all. Like, I just, like in high school, I would like have to fight you for just fucking talking shit to me on a basic level. And it's like, like, I think I'm living in the angry time. Like there's a timeline where my father's father didn't hit him. So my father grew up nice and normal, which means I grew up super normal, and I'm not a comic or some shit, you know? Like,
yeah.
Like, I hate the timeline that I'm not a comic. I'm like, but I love comedy.
Yeah. That's why every time I think about like, oh, what if I had done this back then instead of that? I'm like, I just stop thinking that, because I think thinking in the past and having those options is a bit of like, it's nostalgia is comfort. And I find that we start reliving past memories and thinking, oh, if I had done this or had done that, when we're kind of uncertain about our future. But it's like, all you need to do is
that, bro.
Build that confidence and be certain about what you want, dude. You choose the timeline. Say,
you've been confident for a long time. Like, you started young. I started seeing you around and you were just like a little dude, bro. You looked like a teenager. How old were you when you started coming around in the comedy scene?
I think I was like, first tried it in college, which would have been 2011. So I was probably like 19 or whatever. And then
so you were just a young dude coming around. I knew it, man. I was like, you look young, dude.
And so then you were I came back, and I was like 21 when I think I came back.
Like, you're doing it. You're like, I'm gonna try stand-up comedy.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to move to the city because I'm from Brockville, right? So it's like I wasn't even from that area. I just went to school in Oshawa and then started comedy there, and then came back home and then decided to come back to Toronto. And now I'm in Ottawa.
Brockville. I drive by that shit. What's Brockville like?
Brockville's nice. It's like very quiet, very nice, like family town. Like, it's
not quaint, too far from Kingston, peaceful. Right?
Yeah, it's about 40 minutes from Kingston.
Yeah, I can see it on my way to Montreal.
Hour to Ottawa. Yep. Yeah, I'm in Ottawa now. So I'm like, yeah.
You're in Ottawa?
Yeah, I moved to Ottawa. I left the city because I knew this second lockdown was happening, and I saw the writing on the wall, and I was like,
how can anyone afford anything in the city right now anyway? Like, I don't know how any of our comic friends or artist friends.
I don't know why you would want to. I saw there was these like, I think they're called like Tip Top Tailor lofts. They're like down by the water.
Those are nuts.
I was like, these lofts are crazy. And I look, and there was like, but I was looking around and I was like, there's a lot of homeless people here. And like, there's a lot of people, like cracked out people, like on the steps and shit, like right in front of this like big expensive loft. And I Googled the loft to see like, oh, is there any like, renting or whatever? There was one penthouse that was renting for $12,000 a month. I'm like, why the fuck would you pay $12,000 a month to like step out and a crackhead is like on your doorstep? I'm like, who is staying here? Like, how much do you love Toronto? You're like,
these people don't understand what they're doing, that their time on earth is being like wasted on stupid shit. Like, for $12,000,
they could buy that guy a home. They could buy the guy on the front step a home.
That's right. Get him out of there. Here, get the
for one month of the rent.
Get away from me, man.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Because you took off too, right? You're like, you pieced.
Okay, so right before COVID, we were looking to buy a home in the St. Catharines area, and because it was all we could afford, and it's like a super cranky town, but they had still affordable homes in the $300,000-$400,000 range. So that's where we were looking. And when I showed my dad what we were looking at, he kind of was taken back, like how bad the market was. And he was about to put where we live now, the cottage, on sale. So we were going to take a little bit of that money and he was going to give me a bit for our down payment and that kind of stuff. But when he saw what we were going to do with the money, he offered to sell us the cottage itself. He would bring the price down so we could put down payment down and do closing costs and all that kind of shit.
Nice.
But but it also, you explain like it's a little bit farther. Like, St. Catharines like 40 minutes from the city. This is an hour and a half. Like, you're gonna have to sacrifice a lot for shows. Like any show that I do, whatever it used to be from Toronto, I have to add an hour and a half on top of that now too.
Yeah.
And it just made whatever drives I do a little longer, but it's also made my day to day 1,000 times better, bro.
Yeah.
Steps from my house is my kid's school, and a couple more steps from that is the beach.
That's beautiful.
Right around the corner is a grocery store, parks everywhere. It's one of those things where you're like, fuck, man. Like, do I miss, what I miss, man? I'm going to tell you straight up, bro. I miss just randomly at 6 o'clock making the choice to go do comedy. Like, and I just take a shower, go get dressed, just head down to my local club, message the owner, message Brez, message Ryan, message Joe from the corner, message somebody and be like, hey, man, can I come do 5? Can I come do 10? And go do that and feel like you were like a cool New York comic just going out of your house to go do some time, Because you work really hard to get to that status as a comic in the country. Like, you work really hard to become a headliner who can drop in to work on his time. Like, I'm not Seinfeld, but bro, can I smash 7 minutes and make any show better? Yeah, of course. And,
of course.
Like, so like a lot of people were really willing to just give me like quick 7s on random nights.
Yeah. Which helps you work out stuff. Yeah. But that's why you work so hard, was so that you could be able to do that, right? Like,
that's right. So you could be that dude.
It's
like,
respect.
Hey, man,
yeah.
It's respect. Like, yeah, like there's a bunch of comics. Like if Dave Mirage is in town and he messages me for a spot, even if it's 7, I'm gonna give him 20, just so that
like, do your time.
Do your time. Go smash. The show will be better. The audience will be happier that I put on a better comic, or that, like, there's a threshold. Obviously, you can't have 10 fucking sick comics because by the 6th one, the dream's over. But I mean, if you have 2 good comedians, a younger comic, and like some seasoned grizzly vet, and a guest spot of some rising star, that show is gonna be better. And
it's gonna have so much layers to it, right?
Yeah. Bro, being a comic is the dream. Living in the city was the best. I did it my whole life, and I really lived my 20s through the city. Like, people ask me all the time, like, did you love living in Toronto? I'm like, man, not really. Like, I didn't get to live. I worked all the time during the week. Man. I was either trying to get like a day job together to get some money together, and if it wasn't that, I was at nighttime. I was a comic. I never went to a bar in my life and have enjoyed it, because every time I've ever been in a bar, it was for comedy, it was for work, it was for audiences, it was for bombs, it was for kills, it was for something else other than fucking chicken wings in the game, like, and so yeah, like, I never got to enjoy the city life for what it is. Like, it's like I was an entertainer, and I don't know, I was a cog in everybody else's enjoyment. It's weird.
I get you, man. Like, even when I would try to go out to places in the city with people, my mind was always like, you could probably do a comedy show in here, right? You put the stage right over there.
Yeah, that's right.
It never left. Like, I could never have a good time. I couldn't enjoy myself.
Oh, man, I do that to this day, every day. Anywhere I go, I look if it's suitable for a comedy show. Is this suitable for a microphone, a backdrop, and like
you could probably put a piece of wood across there and make that a stage. You're doing construction in your mind.
I hate that so much. It's insane. Oh man, it gave me anxiety right now thinking about how many times in my life I've thought whether or not, is this good for comedy or what?
Yeah.
Where's the owner? Should I talk to the owner, see what he wants to do?
You get the owner's business card, dude.
Business card. I never did that. I would always give them. I used to give them my number, and I tell them if they were interested to call me, because if they're not even willing to make that call, they're not going to be willing to sell tickets. And if they're not willing to sell tickets and do the all the promo that's needed, then I don't need that shit.
Yeah, it's a good way to approach it. Yeah. I'm gonna bring it around to a close here, though, man. But I want to know, like, how you feeling about our word lockdown. What are we gonna call lockdown part 2?
Lockdown part 2. The return.
How you feeling?
Honestly, I thought the podcast was nice. I feel always really self-conscious near the end of the podcast, like I've got too rambly. So that's why I get quiet near the end, because I'm like, been rambling. Let the host have a little fucking chit chat, And then the lockdown part 2 part is, is well named, bro, because it's around the corner. And if it's not, God bless us, thank God. But bro, if it is, God fuck us. Fuck this dude, bro. I'm pissed. You think it's gonna be or no?
I unfortunately think it's gonna be. I really don't want it to, but I think it's just gonna happen as a way to kind of be like a little fuck you, I think, to the people who were perhaps not willing to fall in line the first round. All right, let's try this again. Kind of one of those things.
Great.
It's Canada's a disaster right now, because if you look at like the places that are open and they have no rise in cases, you're just like, okay, what are we doing?
I'll tell you what we're doing, buddy.
We're promoting. Man. So when things do reopen, you need to go follow Mike Rita on Instagram, Rita the Human. Then you know when he's doing his shows, because you always post about your shows on there. You can also go subscribe to the YouTube page, Mike Rita, as well. You got some videos.
Wow, that looks so nice. I haven't seen it in weeks. I was like, oh, that looks clean. That looks nice the way you're showing it right now.
Yeah. It's well themed. We know immediately what you're talking about.
Got
the weed. Any parting words for our listeners?
Yes, man. Please go out there and go be the best humans you can be. Be nice to your animals. Be nice to your parents. Ask your mother and father lots of questions. Make sure they understand that you still love them and that you appreciate everything that they did for you. And honestly, straight the fuck up, guys. If you're still listening and you listen to this whole podcast, truly, thank you, man. Thank you for caring. Thank you for enjoying. Honestly, in a world with so much to do, the fact that you would listen to two just, local Canadian entertainers just having a chat means the world to me. And I know that it means the world to our boy, Johnny. Is your name actually John? Is it Jonathan something?
It's Jonathan.
Yeah? Yeah, you've never gone by Jonathan. I remember you had a different stage name once. It's Johnny something. What was it? It wasn't Rogers.
No, I started with Jonathan Rogerson, and then my first show, someone somehow fucked that up. So I was like, all right, we got to figure this out. Someone said Rogerson, and I was like, what?
All right, that's it. Checkmate on that name, Rogerson.
Yeah. You're like, nope, that's not it.
Like, Jonathan Rogerson. So you're like Johnny Rogers, Jonathan Rogers.
Yeah, it works.
And it's just been Johnny Rogers since then.
Since I recommitted myself to stand up, I was like, I'm just going to absorb this stage name and just run with it, because I think it's a good name now. That
it's a nice name, myself, bro. Yeah. And also,
I like the separation. I like the separation between like me, who I am, to the bank, and to everybody in my personal life. And then, because my personal life, everyone calls me Jonathan. So,
yeah, like your family calls you Jonathan.
Yep.
That's so 100%. Funny. I could never see you as a Jonathan, right? You're like this young performer to me. You're Johnny. That's the brand.
That's the brand. The brand has been received.
Sorry, but I gotta stop zoning out. That joint hit me like a rock.
Don't forget to drop a comment down below with your favorite part. And if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, thank you. Please leave a 5-star review and let me know what you think. Always share it with a friend too. That's always fun. Share the episode. But until next time, everybody. Wow, that was horrible. Let's try that again.
Dude,
the last episode, this is how high I was before I started. I said like episode 13 and it was episode 14.
Yeah, you're like, I have no idea.
Right out of the gate, I flubbed it. I don't edit anything on this podcast anyways, though. I'm just gonna let everybody see every mistake I make.
Nah, it's more human that way anyway.
Yeah, let me try a clean outro. But until next time, everyone, stay classy. You've been listening to The Johnny Rogers Show. New episodes air every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Say